What's going on, guys? Today we're going to do a quick review and some beam shots on the Acebeam M10. It's a light that I've been looking at for honestly a while. I mean, I've been out of the game for like a year now, but I've certainly seen it on Acebeam's website, and I'm surprised I haven't heard more about it just because I feel that the lumen output for a light so small is really impressive. So we're going to try to do something a little different today as well. And what we're going to do is this light is actually rated to run either AA cells or 14500 cells. And the outputs are supposed to be drastically different between both outputs. On the box, for example, on the back, it says that its maximum output with a 1.5 volt AA battery is 224 lumens. And if you up that to a 14500 rechargeable cell at 3.7 volts, you're over 600. You're at 610 lumens. So you're almost tripling your output. So what we did is we have two M10s here, thanks to Daniel and the crew at Going Gear. One has just a simple buy anywhere you want 1.5 volt AA battery. And the other one, just to show you guys, has that 3.7 volt 14500 cell. Let me see here, just to show you guys, because we are going to do beam shots again. So I just want you to see 14500 and 3.7 volts. So it's exactly as the box says, and I'm going to show you the box as well, just to show you on the text here how it specifies the difference in voltage. On the back of their box here, for a 1.5 volt AA or a 3.7 volt 14500. So we're not going to do an unboxing on this light, guys. This is a small light. Any of you guys who have purchased lights before, you know you get at least one spare O-ring in there. I don't remember if it comes with the lanyard or not. Sorry, I'm being lazy, but that's what it is. And we've had time now, probably about a month, to play with these lights. And because my best friend, Jeff, who's on camera right now, owns one of them as well, we just went with matching colors because we just thought it'd be cool. So that's what we did. A little bit about the light, guys. There are 3 modes on the light, and the user interface is really simple, and I like that. You can tell here, guys, that it's got a clicky switch on the back. That's all it has. There's no side switches on a light this small. And the firmness, for those of you that actually have time with multiple lights, it's great. Honestly, it's pretty close to perfect, at least in my preference, for just how tactile the click is. One con, and I'm going to be jumping back and forth, guys, sorry, because this isn't scripted at all, so we just go with it. But it doesn't have momentary on, so that kind of sucks, but it does have mode memory, which I think makes up for it. So what you do, real simply, it's got 3 modes. You click it once to turn it on, and then you just half press to cycle through the modes. That light mode, I'm hoping comes up, and I know it can in my hand. So those are your 3 modes there. Again, in the AA version, at 1.5 volts, 220 something lumens, and then in the 3.7 volt 14500 at 610 lumens, what it's rated at. The size is awesome. I like it a lot. I really like the fact, now it's kind of a double-edged sword, but if you look closely at the light, you can see that the tail clicky is actually recessed back to the point where you've got body on both sides. That helps like infinitely with accidental discharges, guys, or accidental activations. And it's perfect for tail standing as well. It really is. So it does everything from that aspect very well. In fact, if I'm resting my thumb across the top and I'm literally pressing as hard as I can right now, it takes so much effort for me to even turn the light on just because of how recessed the button is. May come off as a negative to some guys, especially with really big fingers. With me, it's not a problem. But that's just, again, to show how recessed it is. One of the biggest gripes I have with the light, guys, is the pocket clip. There's not a tremendous amount of retention at all. I mean, it doesn't take any effort for me to pull the clip up. And it just moves all over the light all the time. Now, for a lot of guys, this probably isn't going to be a problem, but for me, I don't know, it drives me nuts, honestly. It drives me nuts because even when I'm holding it in my hand, playing with it, and again, I've had it for about a month now and used it quite a bit, it just spins freely, and it's pet peeve. Aside from that, though, I'm going to put it in my pocket so you guys can see how it looks in the pocket. In fact, I'm going to do that now because we've already gone over the interface and everything else. So when it goes in the pocket, I was saying earlier that the button is recessed quite a bit and how that can be a double-edged sword. It helps tremendously, guys, to prevent accidental activation. But let me tell you where it hurts. The edges on it are actually pretty sharp. And I always keep a rosary, and I know a lot of guys keep something in their left primary pocket. When you go in to reach that light, there have been multiple occasions where it hasn't cut me, but it sticks you. The edges can really stick you. Now again, you can actually help eliminate that depending on where the pocket clip is, because if I can move the light in a certain position so that my hand will slide up in between the two sides, then it's not as much of an issue. But I'm telling you guys, those edges, when they catch your hand, it's painful. So that's a problem I have. The other thing too, again, going back to retention, is that there's really not much with this pocket clip. I mean, honestly, if Jeff picked me up and turned me upside down, I don't think this light would stay in my pocket. I really don't. So probably the biggest flaw to this light, in my opinion, is the pocket clip. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go over beam shots, again comparing the M10 with a AA battery and with a 14500. And we're going to show beam shots in one of two ways. The first way is going to be on a wall that's about 7 yards from us now. And it's a beige wall, but it should give a really good indication of, I mean, you'll see the hot spots very clearly in difference in brightness. I'm going to cut off the light so that we can actually, we can pick it up better that way. I don't know which light has the 14500, so let me just compare them real quick because it's very obvious. Actually, I'm going to do it this way too, guys, just to show y'all that I'm cycling through the modes on the ground real quick. I want y'all to see that both of them are in maximum high mode, okay? But I'm not going to do them at the same time. Okay, so this is low. That's 1, 2, 3 for that light. And then this one is low as well. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so both lights are in maximum high. Now for myself, I'm going to try to see which one's brighter, so I show you the AA first. Okay. So we're only going to compare brightness modes, guys, on the maximum setting. This is the M10 with a AA 1.5 volt cell on high. According to the box, this is 224 lumens. So hopefully in the picture you can pick up the hotspot. I'll tell you guys, cameras are really good at focusing in on the hotspot, and you kind of lose the spill a little bit. So just to tell you what we're actually seeing in person, there's not much of a transition. There's not a super defined hotspot on this light at all. It doesn't have a smooth reflector. It doesn't have immense intensity with how small the head is, but it's nice. It's got decent spill, and it's got what I would consider to be a messy hotspot. It just gradually rolls out. There's no clear divide between the hotspot and the spill. Okay, so this is it at 224 lumens. Now I'm not going to turn this one off and then turn the other one on because I want to compare it to you while it's on. I'm just going to move this beam over slightly to the right to put it on the picture. On the left-hand side, replacing its previous spot, this is the exact same light with the 3.7 volt 14500 cell on high. There's no comparison, guys. I mean, honestly, you almost step up into big boy light with a 14500 on this light. So I'm sure in the camera you can tell, and the 224 lumen version with the AA is still on. I'm going to move it just so you can see. But even in person, the high mode of the 14500 cell, it just completely washes out. I mean, I can't tell in person that it's still on unless I actually move the AA cell. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn both lights off. Hopefully you can see a big difference there. I'm going to turn the kitchen light back on. And now what we're going to do for the next beam shot test, as soon as we open this door, going into the backyard, we've set up a little 22 plinker target that's bright orange. And we've put it at exactly 25 yards out, which I feel like for a small little backup light or a CQB light, that's a perfect distance. If you can light up something well enough to see something at 25 yards, I think you're doing well with any light you carry every day. I know these lights, some of these lights are rated for much further than that, guys, but in real life use, you're not going to see a target at 200 plus yards clearly with a single even 18650 cell light in 99.9% of the cases. So 25 yards, again, I feel like is a close threat proximity that works well for most guys, especially indoors. But we're going to start again with the AA version of the light, and then we're going to go to the 14500. And I'm actually going to be using my EC35, which is my personal EDC light, just so that you actually can originally see exactly where the target is without any question. And then we'll go into the two M10s and I'll show you the lights in between, so there's no question. Okay? So come in here now. Kitchen light off. We're going to turn the outdoor light off. Okay? So this is the EC35, guys. This is not the light that we're reviewing right now. But you can, I'm sure you can see the orange 22 blinker. It's a series of 3 little targets. All right. Now I'm switching over to the M10. But again, I'm going to start with the 210 version lumen. Or the 210, or the AA version, I'm sorry. So here it is, the AA version on full blast. The light's in the exact same spot the EC35 was, and the camera's in the same spot. Now I'm going to leave this light on, and then I'm going to turn in the exact same spot the 14500 cell version on now. There's no question how big the difference is. And again, that target's at 25 yards. Now, just to confirm, guys, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the AA version. So all that's left on is the 14500. The AA version's off now. All right, so let's go ahead and cut that off. Get the kitchen light back on. Guys, overall at the price point and everything, being that you've got a light that's IPX8, honestly, most guys aren't even going to utilize the 224 lumens of this light. A lot of guys don't run their lights in maximum all the time. I'm one of those guys. So even in AA form, I think the light's worth having. I really do. But if you're going to get this light, spend the extra like $4 or $5 and buy that 14500, because truly it puts the maximum output to a point where honestly you don't really need to carry 2 lights, especially if you're just the average Joe. I mean, if this isn't what you do or this isn't what you're into, this is a great light, guys. So hopefully y'all enjoyed the comparison. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, this is the Acebeam M10. Have a good day. Thanks, guys. God bless.